Hi, I'm Dan Estrada, and this is Phil 334, Engineering Ethics at NJIT. I'm going to be the instructor for the course, and I'll be leading us through the semester. This video will be a short overview of the course, the assignment structure, some of the class policies. It's designed to get you started with the course so you can go through the lessons and start working on the assignments. All the information that you need for the course will be in the syllabus, which is on Moodle. You should be watching this on Moodle now. And everything that we're going to be doing for this semester will be done on Moodle. So make sure that you get familiar with Moodle and learn how it works. This video will help you with understanding what the course is and what assignments you're going to be doing on Moodle. So let's go ahead and get started and jump into the course. All right. Yeah, so like I said, this is Engineering Ethics, NJIT. Our website is on Moodle. You should be on Moodle now. I'm your instructor, Dan Estrada. I have my PhD from the University of Illinois in 2014, and I've been teaching at NJIT for the last couple of years, this class. There's my email address, estrada@njit.edu. It's the best way to reach me. I try to respond within 24 hours. If I haven't responded in 24 hours, send me another email, and I'll try to get to you. My office hours are on Tuesday from 11 to 12, and they're in column 420. I'm also on campus on Thursdays, and you can schedule an appointment on Thursdays as well. We'll be doing online Hangouts from 12 to 1:30 on Tuesdays. So right after my office hours, I'll be doing an online sort of video chat. If you have that time available and you want to stop by on video and say hi, you can come by video chat. I'll say more about this in a second. So usually I teach a few courses. Sometimes they have live lectures. This time there's no live lectures. All my classes are online. I'm teaching another seminar on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the afternoon. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a weekly online video hangout, sort of a video conferencing session from 12 to 1:30. You can find a link to that session on Moodle. And you should be able to join with any browser or on your smartphone or whatever. The online hangout, I know this is an online course and you probably didn't schedule this time to be free in your schedule. If you don't have this time free, that's okay. You don't have to come to the weekly online hangout. It's just another resource for you to interact with me. Sometimes these online classes can get sort of isolating and lonely. So if you have questions you'd like to talk to me about and you don't want to make it to office hours, I'm also going to be in the online hangout. So you can come by and chat. Usually what will happen is I'll do sort of brief overview of the lesson for that week, and then I'll take any questions that people have, and we'll have some sort of informal discussion online. If you don't make it for that session, I will record that hangout and put it on YouTube so you can watch it afterwards. I also have video lectures where I actually give a full lecture on my own, and those lectures will contain a secret word that you can use to get extra credit. I'll talk about that in a little bit. There will be a weekly hangout on the first day of class, which is tomorrow. So if you're just watching this now, you might think about coming to the first class on first Tuesday after Martin Luther King Day. All right, so here's the lesson. So there's 15 weeks in the semester, and there's 15 lessons, one for each week. Each week we'll have a introductory lecture, usually written, and then it'll be a video lecture like this, and then a written lecture. Slideshows like this also. And the lectures are to introduce some reading material. Reading material will come from a textbook, and it'll also come from a bunch of articles that I've made available. Some of them will be documentaries that I'll have you watch and so on. So your job is to go through that material, read my lecture. There's a short quiz to take on the readings, multiple choice quiz. Just make sure that you do the readings. And then there's a discussion forum where you're going to be asked to prepare a post and reply to the posts of others. So for each lesson, you have to go through the lecture and the reading material, take the quiz, and then prepare your short essay or video. I'm allowing video essays. It doesn't have to be a written essay. If you don't like writing, but you're comfortable talking in front of a camera, then you can do a video essay. So post those on the forum. That's a big chunk of your grade. And then discuss the material with your peers. You have to do some replies. 2 replies every week. So 2 replies, your post or video, and the quiz. Those are your assignments there's an exception in lessons 10 and 11. So 2/3 of the way through the class, you'll have a research project that'll be a little bit different. But otherwise, that's the structure of the course. So every week, you know, you're going to have to do a quiz, a post, and then some replies. So the rest of this class is just gonna be about the details of these assignments and policies about them. The first thing to note is that you do need a textbook. It needs to be this book, Ethics in Engineering, Martin Schinzinger, 4th edition. It needs to be the 4th edition. I know there's the 3rd edition online, but the 3rd edition has activities and page numbers that are different from the ones that we'll be using. So you need to go find the 4th edition. The book itself is pretty cheap. It's not a $400 textbook. It's, I think, $30 new, and it's like $15 used. You can get it used at the bookstore. You can get it used on Amazon. It's pretty widely available. All the other material will be made available online. I have lots of other material, mostly articles, but also some videos, some books, and I'll make that all available for you online. So this is the only thing you need to buy. But please buy it quickly. I think you will need it for the 2nd week's assignment, not for the 1st week's assignment. There will be some readings from this in the 1st week assignment, but it's not necessary. It will be necessary for the 2nd week assignment. So make sure you get this book as soon as possible. Remember 3 assignments: the quiz, your post, which might be video, and then your replies. So the quiz first. The quiz, for each lecture, there will be a lot of readings. I give a lot of material, and some of the material will be called required readings, and some of it will be called optional readings. The only difference between these two is that the required readings might appear on the quiz. The optional readings, you're free to talk about those in your posts. You're free to only talk about those if you want in your posts, but you are required to read the required readings because they'll appear on your required quiz. Quizzes are usually very short. They're 5 multiple choice questions. There's a couple of them that are short paragraph responses. There's no time limit on these quizzes. You can open the quiz, go through the questions, think about it for a night, go out and get pizza and come back the next day and continue taking the same quiz. But when you turn in the quiz, you're only allowed to turn it in once. So keep that quiz open until you've completed it. The reason it's open and no time limit is because you're encouraged to use the materials to answer the quiz. The questions will not be trick questions, and they won't even be comprehension questions. They'll really be just sort of basic factual questions about what happens in the texts. I'm not trying to trick you. What I'm trying to do is make you open the reading material and actually look it over. So the quiz is designed to do that. A Control F will make it very easy. But as long as you open up the material and look through the stuff for the quizzes, you should be in a good position to start writing your own essay. Quizzes are due every Friday by midnight on Moodle, and they're worth 20% of your lesson grade. The big chunk of your grade is the discussion. So this is worth 80% of your grade. There's a separate forum for each lesson. So lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, each has a separate discussion forum, discussion 1, discussion 2, discussion 3. Your assignment, again, is to write a post or record a video, and then leave 2 replies on other students' posted videos. Your posts are 400-word essays, at least 400 words, as a minimum for a good grade. And I'll say more about that in a second. The 400-word essays, it's about a page. Or 4-minute videos, about 4 minutes of video. In both cases, I'm going to be asking you to consider the material and prepare these sort of responses. I'm asking you to do some critical thinking and some careful, deep thought, maybe a little bit of scholarship or research. And the big requirement is that it addresses the themes of the course. So it can be on one of the readings, it can be on some particular issue in the readings, but anything that addresses the lesson themes, there's not going to be a specific writing prompt that you have to answer every lesson. You're really sort of open to pursue the things that interest you. I'll say right here that this class is called Engineering Ethics, but a lot of students in the class are not engineers. We have some architects in the class, some other students who have different majors. This class we'll be talking a lot about professional engineering, but it's not only for engineers. And if you're not an engineer, hopefully you can find a place in the material for your own perspective, for thinking about your own future career. And part of the point here is to encourage you to do that. Okay, so your post, And then 2 replies. Replies are paragraph length responses, 150 word responses at minimum. The point is to directly engage your peers, to think critically about what they say, to respond to them, and sort of bounce your ideas off each other in a supportive, peer-directed learning environment. Be respectful on the forums. Don't. I know it's the internet, but you don't have to be a troll. Be respectful. Try to listen to. Try not to just talk to other people, but try to listen to what they say. Listening is hard, and you learn a lot more listening than you do talking. You learn some talking too, but you learn a lot more listening. So try to listen. So forum discussions are also due on Friday night along with the quizzes. So posts, your formative work, post your formative videos due Friday by midnight along with your quiz. They're due at the same time, so you're going to have to plan this out, so plan your schedule out so you don't crunch at the very end. Your replies are due the following Tuesday. So if your post is due, lesson 1 post is due this Friday, then the replies are going to be due next Tuesday by midnight. This is worth 80% of your grade. Now, I've gone over this a little bit, but on this idea of talking about material of your own choosing, sometimes engineers struggle with writing assignments, and especially something as open-ended as this, engineers tend to like very specific rules. Do this, mathematics, and so on. But this class is not going to be like that. It's very much more open-ended, the sort of class where there's no right answers and that kind of stuff. The point of this class is to use the time to actually engage the material. My teaching philosophy here is that the value of this course is the time you spend on it. The more carefully you go through the readings, the more carefully you read your fellow students' posts and respond to them, the more you'll get out of the course. So I want to encourage you to put in as much as you can into the course. And the way I do that is by encouraging you to put as much of yourself in the course as you can. Right, so be thinking about the specific issues related to your major. Right, I'm going to be talking about engineering generally, but if you're a chemical engineer and there's specific issues related to chemical engineering that are relevant to engineering ethics, talk about those. If you have job experience, a lot of students are already have a job or have been on the job for a while and are coming back to school. Some of us don't have job experience. I've never been a professional engineer, so I've learned a lot from the engineers that I've taught with this class, and if you have professional experience, that can only help everyone who's looking forward to that kind of career. So please share your professional experience, share your personal anecdotes, share your point of view. What I want is your perspective on the discussion forum, and I want sort of all of the class's perspectives bouncing off each other and to see what happens. So it's your class, use it. You don't have to write about the required material, right? There's required and optional material. You don't have to write about the required material. If there's something in the optional material that really grabs you, write about that. You don't have to write in response to the questions I raise. So my lectures are usually just introducing the reading material, and I raise some questions just to sort of get you going, get you oriented. You don't have to answer those questions if you don't want. If there's some other question you want to answer, I'd rather hear the questions that you want to answer. I'd rather have the thoughts that you want to have. Those are the more interesting thoughts. Those are the thoughts that you're going to be more motivated to do. So I have some other suggestions about how to get going with some of this material. You can look this over in the Prezi for yourself. Good. So forum discussion is 80% of your grade. Most of the work are doing these weekly posts and responding to the posts of others. This can get pretty tedious if there's not a lot of material. My solution to make it not tedious is to provide a lot of material, a lot of different material. So hopefully something in that collection sparks your interest enough to motivate you to write for 400 words or to talk into a camera for 4 minutes. So good luck with that. The big exception is the research project. So in weeks 10 and 11, there's a independent research project that I'm going to ask you to do. During the class, we're going to go through a lot of case studies, and in weeks 10 and 11, you're going to have to pick a case study of your own. It has to be a real historical case, and then you have to do research to figure out what happened in the case, who's involved, who's responsible, what were the consequences, were they punished, were they put in jail, what was the fallout. So the posts are going to be a little bit longer than normal. Normal post is 400 words. Your research project is going to be 600 word essays, and they will require you to do actual scholarly research. To demonstrate your scholarly research, I'm also asking you that you do an annotated bibliography. So there's going to be no quiz for these weeks. Your annotated bibliography will count as your quiz. What I'm asking is, in total, 4 scholarly sources for this research project. I didn't say this earlier. The research project is going to be a single case study, so 2 weeks, lessons 10 and 11, but 1 single case. And the idea is that in week 10, you will present the facts of the case, a sort of a newspaper report, what happened, who was involved. And then in lesson 11, you'll give an ethical analysis of the case. What values were impaired, what were the ethical challenges involved in the case, what values were compromised, what would you do in a similar situation, how would you have decided differently, what punishments do people deserve for what happened, right? These are the ethical kinds of questions. So in week 10, you're going to do the factual basis for the case, and then in week 11, you'll give an analysis of the case that you've already presented. And this will be your research project for the semester. This is the major project. It's worth a little bit more than a normal week's post. Normal lessons worth 100 points. Your research project's worth 150 points. So this is 20% of your final grade. This is the other sort of missing bit of your grade. So talking about your grade, so lessons are worth 100 points each. Remember, that's 20 points for your quiz, and then 80 points for the discussion. That breaks down as 50 points for your post, and 15 points each for your paragraph replies, and you have to do 2 of them. So it's 30 points total for replies. 50 plus 50 is 80 points for discussion. 15 lessons, 100 lessons each, that's 1,500, but research weeks are worth 150 points, so that's another 100 there. So 1,600 points total, and then the grade scale is what you would expect, given that we don't have B minuses or A pluses. One thing just to note is that the D range for the class is at 50%. So usually Ds are at 60%, but I pushed this down a little bit. Or the idea is that it shouldn't be so easy to fail an engineering ethics class, but it is going to be a little bit difficult to get an A. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in the grading video. That'll also be on Moodle. 15 lessons. There are some exceptions. We've already talked about the research projects being exceptions. The final week in week 15 is a sort of what did you learn post. There's no quiz and there's no additional readings for that. The other exception that's more relevant now is week 1. There's no quiz for week 1, but there is a post that'll be due on Friday. And instead of your quiz, you're going to be asked to do an introduction. So in the discussion 1 forum, there's an introductions thread. I'm asking you to set your avatar and then post in the introductions. You can set your avatar in Moodle by clicking on the Moodle button. I'll show you that in just 1 second. We're almost done with this slideshow though. Actually, let me go ahead and show you Moodle now. So this is what Moodle looks like. Engineering ethics, 454. I have a couple of other classes. I'm Dan Estrada. Here's the link to the Hangout. If you click this link, this will take you into a video conferencing session, which usually there won't be anyone there except during these hours, but I'll be sitting there ready to take your questions. You can always come to the video Hangout using this link. This is a brief overview of the class, and then the syllabus is what you really want to read. All your questions will be answered in the syllabus. Syllabus looks like this. It's 14 pages long. It has the whole schedule, but it also has the description, the goals of the course, all the details for all the assignments in extreme detail, 15 pages long syllabus. Also things like the late policy, attendance policy, plagiarism policy, grading policy, and all the details on how grades break down, including my grading rubrics. So you can see everything that you need to know about how the class works, about how the grades work in the syllabus. I've just given you the overview here, but that's in the syllabus. So so when you're on Moodle, as you scroll down, you come to the different lessons. So lesson 1, here's lesson 1, and the current lesson will always be highlighted in red like this. Right, so here's my lecture, and then I introduce, the first lecture is a little bit long, sorry about that. Most lectures are, if I go to lesson 2, the lecture is pretty short. Mostly what I'm doing is introducing the various readings. And notice there are a lot of readings. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections of readings for the required reading, and then a couple of others for optional readings. So there's a lot of options here for you to cover material. Find something that interests you. and I'm giving little prompts for you to engage this stuff. And then as you scroll down, at the bottom of the lesson, I remind you what the readings are. And then I give you the discussion forum, the quiz, and the attendance for that week. The discussion forum looks like this right now. There's an open thread here. Actually, let me go to discussion 1. You can always get to the discussion forums up here on activities. Discussion 1. There's an introductions forum. So here you post your introduction. I introduce myself. There's my avatar. You can get to your avatar if you click on your name up here in the corner behind my picture up here. This is your profile. If you go to the edit profile, you can change your profile picture here. So your first assignment in lesson 1 is to, you'll see up here, by Friday, is to write your 400-word essay, set your Moodle avatar, and leave an introduction in the introductions thread. And then your replies are due next Tuesday. Your avatar lets me recognize you. It doesn't have to be a picture of your face. It can be any picture you want. But as long as I can recognize you, get a sense of who you are, get a sense of your perspective, sense of your views. Okay, just a few more slides on some policies that are important. The first big policy is the late policy. I have a very strict late policy. The point of this class is to engage in classroom discussions, and if you're late to the discussion, then it doesn't help anyone. So here's the policy. Posts and quizzes are due on Friday at midnight. At 11:59 p.m., Moodle keeps all this stuff by the minute, and it's all by Moodle's server time. So whatever Moodle says is the law. No late quizzes will be accepted after this time. So if you miss the quiz deadline, you don't get to make it up. So that's pretty strict. And for posts, anything after 12 a.m. will be considered late, according to Moodle servers. Ditto for replies. Remember, posts are due on Friday and replies are due on Tuesday. So at 12:01 a.m. on Wednesday morning, that's considered late. You can post late, so no quizzes will be accepted late. You can post quizzes and replies late, and the policy is that they get 2/3 credit for 1 week after the due date. So posted with 50 points, that means if it's 12:01 a.m., then it gets a maximum of 35 points, and that might be graded down depending on the quality of the work. Same thing for replies. Replies usually get 150 points. I'm sorry, replies usually get 15 points, and 2/3 credit at 15 points is 10 points. And so if anytime for 1 week after the due date, from 12:01 all the way for 1 week, you can get up to 10 points. After that week is over, late work is no longer accepted. So I understand sometimes things are late, sometimes you miss a deadline, so you have that 1 week wiggle room. But otherwise, the policy is very strict. The exceptions to this policy are if there's some professional engagement that you know you're going to be busy for a week. That sometimes students have professional conferences that they're going to, or job fairs or whatever, and you know that, look, I'm just not going to have time if you're a senior project or whatever. That's fine, and these are the kind of things you'll know in advance. Let me know in advance. I will accept extensions up to 48 hours in advance. Also, if there's some personal issue, if you know that you're having a baby at the end of the semester, that's also something you'll know in advance. Let me know as far in advance as you can, 48 hours in advance at least. Less than 48 hours, I won't give an extension because then that's not something you knew about in advance. So extensions have to be 48 hours in advance, but there's also emergencies. If you get into like a car crash or some other medical emergency, if there's a funeral, this kind of stuff, it happens. And it takes precedence over schoolwork. It's understandable. My policy for these is that they have to be verified through the Dean of Students. So the Dean of Students has the procedures for verifying your excuses, for looking at your medical records and so on, while still protecting your privacy. So don't show me your medical records, don't show me your excuses. Show the Dean of Students your excuse. Tell them what days you need an excuse for, and then they'll get in contact with me and we can work out how to make up that work. I will only accept late work that's either asked for as an extension 48 hours in advance or verified through the Dean of Students. This is to make sure that there is a paper trail, that there's some administrative oversight over this. So don't try to convince me that you deserve an extension. Go convince the Dean of Students. So that's a strict policy. The positive policy here is extra credit. I offer kind of a lot of extra credit. So I grade kind of harshly. And there's another grading video that you'll have to watch to see my grading policy. But I do offer a lot of extra credit opportunities to make up for the points you missed from grading. So there's an attendance quiz on Moodle for each week. If you sign that attendance quiz with the secret word for that week, and the secret word is something that I'll be giving in the weekly lectures. So your weekly lectures will have a secret word. Take that secret word to the quiz, sign in on the quiz, and you'll get credit for that week's quiz. It's 5 points credit for taking that quiz. If you show up in the online Hangout for the week, I'll also take attendance credit during the Hangout and give you more credit for that. If you come to the Hangout and actually ask questions, not just to show up, but you ask questions and you sort of engage the discussion. In addition to the attendance extra credit, so attendance is strictly extra credit. If you don't sign in on the attendance credit, you don't lose any points. So you can only gain points from attendance. There's also extra credit essays. These are also fully extra credit. You can't lose points from not doing these essays, but you can gain points from these essays. One is made available for lessons from lesson 7 on. The other is made available from lesson 11 on. They have different due dates, so check the forums for details. There's an extra credit forum at the top of the Moodle where you can write your essays. You can submit your essays for this. That's the introduction. That's your welcome introduction. From here, you should read the syllabus carefully. There's a lot of detail in there that I've skipped over that is important for understanding how this course works. So please read the syllabus. Before you ask any questions, make sure you've read the syllabus carefully. But once you have done that, look over the rest of Moodle, check out the rest of the course, make sure you know how it works, make sure you know how the posting works, and you're comfortable with the environment. Set your Moodle avatar, give yourself a personality on the forums. And then introduce yourself, start actually engaging the material, start engaging your peers. Start reading lesson 1 material. Your first post is due Friday, so you want to start doing that. There will be a video lecture up for lesson 1 shortly. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you very much for watching the video, for taking my course. I hope you enjoy it. I put a lot of work into the course. I'm sort of proud of it, and I hope you like it. Thank you.